At Stir Systems, we make 3 different primers. Right now we're going to talk about EkoPrime. EkoPrime is a single part primer, so you're going to use it right out of the can, or you may thin it up to 10% with water, but you don't mix any catalyst with it. EkoPrime is primarily designed for metal and composite surfaces, although we do use it in the fabric covering process as an option on top of EkoFill. We also do use it as an option in our linen system. But it will not replace EkoFill. EkoFill is a necessary part of the fabric covering system. EkoPrime is a very good primer for metal and composite. It has very good corrosion inhibiting. It has excellent adhesion on both surfaces. Remember, if you're priming aluminum, you will need to prep that with our EkoEtch. If you're wondering which primer is best for your application, we do have a chart on our website. I would encourage you to visit that. It'll explain the differences between the primers and their best strengths and weaknesses, and which would be best for your application. When you spray EkoPrime, you're going to spray it similar to the other primers. If you're going to run it straight out of the can, it's going to be a little bit thick. You're going to get better results with a 1.5 or a 1.8 tip in the finish line gun. If you thin it between 5 and 10% with water, it's going to run real nice through a 1.3 tip. As with our other primers, the key is going to be on the application. Use a nice thin coat first. If you apply too much, it's going to want to kind of curl up on the surface and do funny things. So it's important to get a tack coat for adhesion first. After that, you can go a little bit heavier. If you're wanting to build and sand, to fill voids, go ahead and spray it kind of to a semi-wet coat. It's going to be a little bit of a sheen, but not a real wet coat, or it may run on you. When you're ready to apply EkoPrime, be sure to stir it. Do not shake it. With any of our products, if you shake them, they will take on air and could create bubbles in your finish. So just gently stir it for a little while. You'll find a little bit of sludge on the bottom. Work that in. Run it through a 190 paint strainer. That's the yellow one. Don't run it through the blue one, or you'll take out some of the solids that need to be in there. If you're applying EkoPrime on top of EkoFill, there's 2 reasons why you would want to do that. The first one would be if you need a white base. If you're shooting a light color like yellow or red, you'll definitely want white under that, or you won't get the true color. When you apply the EkoPrime on the EkoFill, make sure your first coat is a very light coat, or again, it may want to curl up and do funny things. Once you get a light coat on there and it's tacky again, go ahead and put a heavier coat on there. Usually a cross coat or maybe a cross coat and a half is sufficient. You don't necessarily need a completely pure white, especially if you're using one of the white type colors. If you're using a really light yellow, you may want a little bit more white. You really want to get that base perfect for yellow. Be careful when you sand the EkoPrime that you have put on top of EkoFill. If you get a little too deep, you're going to get spots of EkoFill showing through here and there. And you will see that through some of the yellow paints, so be careful with that. If you're applying white paint, not necessarily as big of an issue, but everything shows in sport yellow, for example.